Within the last 6 months, North Carolina has lost 2 law enforcement officers in the line of duty. Not to violence against the officers, but to car crashes. Both officers involved were not wearing seatbelts. Unbuckled while on patrol is a growing trend not only in Carolina, but nationwide. We're digging deeper into why police officers don't always comply with the seatbelt laws. In March, Edgecombe County Sheriff's Deputy David Manning, after spotting and pursuing a car that committed a traffic violation, lost control of his cruiser and crashed into oncoming traffic. He was thrown from his car. Manning died. He was not wearing a seatbelt. 3 months later, Rocky Mount police officer Christopher Driver crashed into the back of a tree trimming bucket truck that was being towed. He too died from his injuries, and he was also not wearing a seatbelt. These line of duty deaths come just a year after 35 officers died nationwide in car crashes. 15 of those officers were unbuckled while on duty.
When I hear those numbers, obviously those are preventable numbers. Even one officer being killed in line of duty is too many.
Clayton Police Chief Blair Myhan says he always wears his seatbelt, but that's not the case for the majority of his brothers in blue. Most officers won't admit to it, but it is believed that fewer than 50% comply with the law. The number pales in comparison to the 86% seatbelt compliance rate for the general public. A study by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration found that over the past 3 decades, 42% of officers killed in auto accidents were not wearing seatbelts. A recent FBI study found of the 35 officers killed in accidents just last year, 10 were responding to emergencies where getting out of the vehicle quickly is a must. James Johnson, a retired NYPD officer, believes that's one reason why seatbelts aren't being worn.
They have a fear it may get caught in the gun belt, Some may have a fear that there'll be a sitting duck and can't get out readily.
To have the thought that I need to be ready at a moment's notice, and that way that's why I don't wear my seatbelt, is bad thinking, and it's thinking that can potentially get you killed.
It's also a public safety issue. Fewer officers on the streets means fewer officers responding to emergency situations involving your family. It could also cause other officers to work overtime, meaning they're making split-second decisions at the end of a very long workday. Not to mention the hypocrisy of it all.
That's problematic for me. I never want to be a hypocrite in my job and say, I'm going to give you this, $180 ticket for not wearing your seatbelt, and I'm the guy that never wears my seatbelt.
So what needs to be done to force more police officers to comply? Johnson believes that a solution lies in training, showing officers how to get in and out of their cars effectively while buckled in. He also believes it's an issue that needs to be taken seriously before more lives are lost.
It has to come from the top up. It has to come from the immediate supervisor and his supervisor, because if it's mandated, it'll happen. If it's not, it won't.
We are allowed some exceptions to laws as it relates to doing our job, but not wearing your seatbelt's there's no exception to that.
We reached out to Raleigh Police Department as well as the North Carolina Police Benevolent Association, neither of which returned our requests for interviews. We also learned there's been a continued push for officers to also wear their body armor while on duty. Officers are 76% less likely to be killed wearing body armor. 12 officers died last year in the line of duty without it.